Hi, welcome to Farm Talk Friday. It's January 19th, 2024. I'm Ken Jordan. This is my beautiful wife, Giovanna. Hi, Angel.
Hi, baby.
How you doing?
Doing great.
Okay, we are here at the Green Wave House Permaculture Mini Farm.
Yeah, hobby farm.
Whatever. Okay, in the background, you can see our two chicken tractors. That's the bigger one. That's the smaller one.
And the bigger one Ken designed.
Yeah.
With the help of Derry.
And Derry was our carpenter. He was great. And it's a wedge-shaped chicken tractor. Before we get into that, though, let's tell you what we're doing here. We do this every Friday. I used to be in a band called the Crystal Method. My wife has an amazing non-profit 501c3. It's called Green Wave. You can check them out at greenwave.eco. .eco.
He's a good board member.
Yeah. And, we left Los Angeles about 8 years ago. I retired and we're farming and living here in Costa Rica. So we just kind of give you updates and let you know what we're doing here on the farm every week. Okay, back to the chickens. We have really been, our chickens produce the most delicious eggs in the world.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I would like to enter them in a competition because the eggs are
delicious eggs.
Yeah, because they're so good. And
we had eggs today for lunch.
Yeah, and about half our eggs are green because we have one of the 4 hens lays green eggs, and it's the cutest thing. She is the cutest thing. She's the smallest one. She pops out more eggs than the rest of them. Okay.
And apparently she's like a Chinese chicken.
Is that right?
Like Adriana, who works with us, investigated her breed and said they come from China.
Yeah.
Because she was like, what? She has green eggs. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I hope she lives forever and keeps.
Yeah, she's really cute and punky.
But if you've ever had hens, chickens, you know that you lose them from time to time.
Yeah, hopefully we have her for forever.
Okay, so one thing Giovanna does, out of the many things she does, is every week she produces a beautiful advertisement for Farm Talk Friday.
Yes.
That we posted, and I think it has a photo of you and Jeremy this week.
Yes. So this week, it was a picture, kind of like a little selfie snapshot of Permaculture Party Club in action. We have 2 mentees that are part of the club. It's supposed to be open to the public this year, and I have not been able to figure that out yet. So so that's still coming, but the boys still come over. It's Mason and Jeremy, and I'm still kind of like training them up so that they can, start to teach people about permaculture too. But Jeremy really wanted to, for like a month, he's like, I really want to make a recipe out of coconuts. I'm like, okay. And so he sends me a recipe last week, and it had to do with a coconut smoothie. And so that's what we're making in the photo is the coconuts have been already cracked open for them, but they were assigned to like get all the meat out, and some of them are harder and some of them are more jelly-like. So he was working on a coconut, and I was just shooting a selfie.
Yes.
We were listening to some good music.
So
remember that?
Yeah, I remember the music. That smoothie, by the way, was like the best smoothie of all time.
It was super good.
It was so good.
Coconut water was really sweet, like perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that helped a lot. And then the coconut meat is amazing. There was that drink at Pronamar that we used to like.
Yeah.
Coco Loco or something.
But I think the recipe called for like some alternative milk, and we didn't have any, so it was just, it didn't even need that. It was
basically coconut water, coconut meat, and bananas. And that's all we had. So everything came from our farm. That was part of it. We want to make farm to table recipes for Permaculture Party Club. And but I think now the guys, so when Jeremy sent me the recipe idea, I was like, well, we'll see if we have enough coconuts for that. So we have a ton of coconut palms, but only one is producing right now. And even though there were several, you never know how much meat or water is going to be in each coconut. So I'm like, well, I hope it's enough smoothie for everybody.
And generally, the longer you wait on a coconut, the more meat is inside. But the longer you wait, then the less sweet the coconut water will be. So there's a trade-off. But the music we were listening to, which is just amazing, was the Sly and the Family Stone performance at the original Woodstock. I mean, the recording is not that great, but the performance is out of this world. And I had never, I'd heard bits and pieces before, but I'd never listened to the whole show, and it was absolutely incredible.
Super good.
Highly recommend that. Maybe.
So we introduced the boys to that too.
Maybe I can put a link in our thingy.
Okay, Ken's writing down the note.
Sly.
Yeah, and so for Permaculture, sorry if I just spit. Permaculture Party Club, we want to play music. We got a party, party club. Mason on our new Permaculture Party Club Facebook page, you can find that, hopefully. There's a little video of Mason doing some dance moves to Sly and the Family Stone. But the reason why we were listening to it was because of that documentary. Do you remember that documentary where they came out? It was like the Harlem Woodstock.
Oh, yeah.
That happened during the same summer.
Summer of Soul.
That was a great documentary, and their performance in that was incredible. And that's what I was like, whoa! I'm like, they were so cool.
Yeah.
And I told Ken that, he's like, they were the coolest.
Yeah.
So I was hooked after that. So anyway, it was fun to listen to that and introduce, some kids to that.
Yeah. Today I just want to talk a little bit about one of the permaculture principles, which I don't think it's one of the 12. It's just it's a practice within permaculture, and that is crop rotation. We concentrate here on mostly perennials. Perennials are like fruit trees and other plants, bushes, vines that don't need to keep getting replanted. So they are perennially there and producing and growing. Well, they're perennially there, they're not producing all the time. They're producing in season anyway. But
you don't have to replant them every year, every season.
So the ones you need to replant every year are called annuals, and the ones you don't need to replant are called perennials. So anyway, we concentrate mostly on perennials here, but we do have 6 raised garden beds that have mostly annuals.
Not anymore.
Well, sometimes have annuals. It's the only place where we have annuals is in our 6 garden beds.
When we used to have annuals,
around our yin-yang.
Went.
So anyway, we still do occasionally. So anyway, the idea is that it's the opposite of monoculture. What you want to do is, even if you have a successful planting one season, maybe you can do it twice, but you want to rotate the crops in that bed. And sometimes you want to leave it fallow. Fallow just means empty, where you don't plant anything. And so this continues to enrich the soil, make the soil better, and that's also what we're concentrating on here. And so if you don't do that, if you keep planting the same thing over and over again, then the soil becomes barren, and there's no nutrients, and you get like dust bowl conditions, and then it's hard to grow things. So, and this isn't anything new. Farmers used to do this. This is the only way they used to farm before pesticides. So
and chemical fertilizers.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. Just a short note about crop rotation.
Thanks, baby.
All right.
So I wanted to just mention the Reliance Gardens. So we're trying to do kind of like a self-reliance farm. You could just start a small garden, and I like the term self-reliance. I think that's cool. So you can do both food and medicine, or just one or the other. And I don't know how I'm going to tie this in exactly, but I'm going to try. So under Greenwave, I have a project that I co-created with Katie Bunny, who I'm really excited is going to be coming back in the area soon. And it's called Permaculture Pinup. And I did the AI thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's been a little entrenched in the, well, not the AI thing. She's just entrenched in the graphics, the graphic creation ability of AI for the last couple of days.
No, like less than 24 hours.
Less than 24 hours.
But anyway, look, here's the thing is that I often have like artistic ideas that would help supplement like education for Greenwave and especially like Permaculture Pinup. And I don't mind and love supporting artists as well. It's just that, you know, when you don't have any donation money coming in and you have a free option available, it is enticing. So anyways, I'm just going to show you my little creation that I think is cute. This is I put Pinup Girl meets Farm Girl, and that's what came out of it.
That's great.
And so they want to say Reliance Gardens are sexy.
Yeah.
Permaculture Pinup.
Super sexy.
Super sexy.
Especially on...
They're asking, have you started one yet? That's what I put down on this.
Especially on World Naked Gardening Day.
Yes, which is coming up in May. I believe it's May 2nd or like the first Saturday in May. That's always fun, and yet I always seem to kind of miss it. So thanks for bringing it up so I can start to plan. So that was that. I meant to once again bring the achiote for show and tell and totally forgot it.
Next week.
Next week, yay! Lipstick tree education continues. And I wanted to just talk about animals, Snuffleupagus. Do you guys know who Snuffleupagus is? I had to tell Ken who Snuffleupagus was. Do you want to tell them?
Well, he's like a woolly mammoth with an elephant trunk. I don't know. He's a character from one of those kids shows.
Big Bird, Sesame Street.
Sesame Street.
So anyway, I was like walking down our path one day and looking at our biggest water apple tree, and I'm like, whoa, look at you! You're just like growing. It's like Snuffleupagus. Snuffleupagus is like this big, hairy, I don't know. Ken actually showed me pictures later, and I'm like, okay, I think I have a slightly different idea in my mind of what Snuffleupagus may have looked like. But I just remember him like rolling in to come see Big Bird, and he just was just like a big blob, like the It or something, you know, but maybe with like matting, you know, like maybe a little bit more kind of homeless looking. But anyways, he showed me pictures, and Snuffleupagus actually looks a little bit more clean cut than I had remembered him. But this tree looks like the matted version of Snuffleupagus that I had in my mind. And so Ken got some education about Sesame Street, and I got education about some other show that Ken liked with a theme song he still remembers.
Yes, the show was called Electric Company, The Electric Company. And I can't remember now what the name of the song is, but it was the song about street signs. It was like...
right and left.
Yeah. No right turn, no left turn. Park Avenue. You know, it was...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
If you're super old, you'll remember this.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But even Sesame Street started way earlier than I thought it did. I don't know what I thought Sesame Street, like when it started. Yeah. Anyways, there was a couple of DJs, the LS DJs from San Diego, and they had a cute Sesame Street remix. Did you ever hear that?
I don't know.
It was fun.
Okay, don't. What's happening? What do you want to? Oh, honey, tell them about your hermit crab experience.
Yeah. Okay. So on Sundays, we our friend Susan's also on the Greenwave board. Has been a lifelong activist. She's amazing. She organizes a movers club. So it used to be called Running Club, but there were a lot of people that wanted to meet up and don't like to run, like me. And so we walk, and the runners run.
Well, No, I've got a torn meniscus, so now I ride my mountain bike on.
Yeah, so as long as we're moving.
But it's still like we meet up and socialize before and after, and then do some kind of moving.
We take a picture.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's cute. So anyway, so I'm walking along and I'm talking to Susan's new beau, and I see this hermit crab in the road. And, I didn't want it to get crushed. Because even though we live in a super rural place and it's early in the morning, there's still cars and there's traffic. And this little thing could have been crushed. I didn't know where it was going. It was not going towards the beach. So I picked it up by the shell, and I probably should have just kept holding it by the shell. But instead I put it into my hand and, started talking to it. Oh, you're so cute. Let me help you. Let me rescue you. And he clamped down onto my little finger here. And as I was walking, like the vibrations for it must have been terrifying because he kept clamping down harder and harder. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can make it anywhere, but I did make it back to out of the street. And I'm trying to put him down on some ground or like around leaves, and he would not let go. He was just not having it. He wasn't clamping down harder yet, but he was not letting go. I was like trying, and he was not having it. And so I'm like, I'm gonna have to find water. And so it was a very, very painful Sunday morning experience for about 10 minutes as I, had to endure the pain as I continued to walk and terrify this little being. And he kept clamping down, so you can't really see it anymore. But like here, it kind of looked like spider bites. And I was playing with it yesterday, and the skin got really hard, so it kind of feels like warty or something. But, he just... Yeah, it's interesting. Like, do you see that? Like little spider bite kind of looking marks. I don't know, you guys. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, if you happen to see hermit crab that you want to save, just pick it up by the little shell, and it'll probably suck itself back in anyway, and then you can move it. Do not recommend the hand.
Where else can you learn this valuable information?
Yeah.
Farm Talk Friday.
Farm Talk Friday. And then birds. We already talked about our cute little chickens. But we were talking about Snuffleupagus tree, and I just wanted to say that, it is really exciting when we start to see new wildlife. I feel like we're doing something right. And, I kept hearing these bird sounds, like a few days ago. Who are you? I was super excited, and I go looking around, and then I heard them in the Snuffleupagus tree, and I was like, oh no, okay, I bet. And it was
what?
The punks.
The punks.
The punk birds are back. They are the blue jays. They're super beautiful, white and like light blue, and they have the mohawk. We talk about them sometimes, and we don't see them a lot here. They're usually down more at the beach, but they are trouble. These guys are like the white-faced monkeys. Like, you don't really want them around so much. Like, they're just pure troublemakers. But they do have like an amazing array, like vocal range and like different kinds of calling out, so that it was exciting for a moment where I'm like, who are you? Are you some new migratory bird that, like finally something's blooming here and you found refuge? And it's like, oh no, it's just you guys. So anyway, I think that's it. But happy birthday to my Uncle Rick. And excited to see my family in March up in the Bay.
And we're excited to see you next week.
Yes, and if you're in the local area, we're going to Zunia to go check out the Yanaawa tribe. That Pippa, our neighbor, is producing this event. So come and support Futuro Nativo. And hopefully we'll see you on the beach.
And we'll see you
or
next...
not. We'll see you next week on Farm Talk Friday.
Yep.